Hello everyone and happy Monday. I'm Neat Sahone, and each and every Monday here on my channel I post a draft video of the latest format on Magic Online, and right now that means Aether Revolt. So we're going to go ahead and jump in the queue, and we will be back when the first pack opens. Alright, well we have a pretty easy first pick in this one, and that would be Yeheni's Expertise, which is also foil. It's just great because it's a removal spell and it gives you a board sweeper even, and it gives you a free spell when you cast it. Like it a lot more than Call for Unity, which is an okay card, and I would play it in a lot of white decks, but it's not what we want here. If we didn't have the Bomb Rare in this pack, that's an easy first pick. What would we take here? Well, I think either Aether Swooper or Druid of the Cowl. And it has something to do with my playstyle and what I like to do in this format, but I would take the Aether Swooper. I think I really like the decks that improvise and such. And Druid of the Cowl is great, but I like Aether Swooper even more. But yeah, we take the Expertise here. Okay, well I have had some fun with Karizev Skyship Raider. If you can just play her on turn 2 consistently, which, you know, you have to get lucky for that to happen. But I was lucky once when I drafted her, and she was pretty great. The black card here isn't something we want to take with our second pick. There's several cards in this pack that are quite strong. I think Karizev, Aeronaut Admiral, Reverse Engineer, Aether Swooper, and Dawn Feather Eagle, and even Renegade Map, and maybe even Scrounging Bandit are sort of on the table here. It's a hard decision, especially because we've already only taken a black card, and none of those cards are in that color. Black does pair well with blue in terms of improvise and things like that. And it also pairs well with green. You do things with +1/+1 counters. But it is a hard choice here for sure, because there's so many like good cards in this pack, but none of them are in a color we already took. I think that I'm going to take the Swooper for reasons I've already mentioned. I really like the blue-black deck in this format, and if I can make that work, then that's probably what I will do. We got Bastion Inventor here, who's sort of a payoff if you pick up enough artifacts. Another Dawn Feather Eagle. We've also got Shielded Aether Thief and Lifecraft Cavalry. Those are all cards sort of worth looking at here. I think with what I've done already, and I probably just want to take Bastion Inventor here, and that's what I'm going to do. Just see if we can go blue-black improvise here. If the world lets us, that's what I'll do. I found those decks to be basically the strongest decks in this format, if you can get there with them, and you can't always, in which case you need to do something else. Black-green's also super strong, but somehow or another, I'm probably like 15, 16 drafts in at this point. I've never managed to draft a black-green deck. Every time I take early stuff for it, it's just not open. And I could have taken the Bandar and had a good time, maybe, but in our second pick. Okay, probably another Swooper. I do like Resourceful Return a lot. There's also Inspiring Statuary, which is okay, but it is sort of a weird card because it asks you to play a lot of artifacts, but then it doesn't do anything for your artifacts in terms of improvise. So, but yeah, I like Resourceful Return, but I think I just take another Swooper here. Swoopers are good, so I like them a lot. I've seen them be around pretty late, and I'm sort of surprised by that at this point, but what are you going to do? Okay, well, we could take another Expertise. No, that one's not nearly as good. I mean, it's an okay card, but it's nothing special. This pack, we've had a very strong packs, a few in a row, and then we get this pack, which is really not that strong. Dispersal Technician's fine. So is Mobile Garrison. Kind of leaning towards taking the Garrison. It's an artifact. We're already sort of leaning towards wanting them with one Bastion Inventor. And we can also, if things don't go right with blue-black, we'll probably play it either way because it's colorless. And the Salvager and Technician are both fine, but I think I'm going to go for the Garrison here. Another Aether Swooper. Yes, please. Resourceful Return again is nice, but I will take another Aether Swooper. Does mean blue's pretty open. I'm not sure black is, although we've passed a few Resourceful Returns, so we'll have to see. But yeah, the not being able to play the Expertise after we first picked it would be a little sad, I think. But it could happen. Okay. Lifecraft Cavalry is pretty good. I could think about picking that up here. So black does not seem open at all. And it's way better than Shipwreck Moray, which is like our other choice here. So I'm kind of leaning towards the Cavalry. It's a great green card. The Automaton's a serviceable one. This is a good green card. I think green's open enough that I'm going to take a Cavalry here because Moray's fine, but it's not exciting. And I'm going to take the strongest card from this pack. I think we can afford to. Okay. We could take Universal Solvent. It's pretty good with Improvise. Could also take Fourth Bridge Prowler. It's a perfectly fine card. Illusionist Stratagem isn't bad either. In fact, I think the Stratagem's probably just the best card in this pack, at least in a vacuum. We don't have anything super cool to do with it yet, but we could pick up a few things that are good with it. But I'm kind of leaning towards the Solvent. If we end up in a deck with even a couple things with Improvise, the Solvent's worth it. So yeah, we'll take it. Okay, now we have a Resourceful Return, which is really good if you can get your artifact stuff going. And I think I'm going to take it here. I could take the green card or the pseudo-green card, but I'm going to take the return here. Okay, well, now we'll take a Prowler. Frontline Rebel is probably just the best card in this pack, which is kind of sad, but that's it. The Prowler's fine. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad card just because Frontline Rebel's better, but there are better things than Fourth Bridge Prowler. I think I'll take an Implement here. We have a couple payoffs for artifacts already, and Salvager's fine, but, you know, the Implements are all pretty nice. It's sad they had to make the blue one cost so much, but because it draws you cards, they sort of had to. So blue-black's looking like a possibility. And I think we should try to make it work because we have expertise. And the cool thing is this deck will be somewhat synergistic if we pick up like Fenhauler and a few more improvisers because they just don't die to Yanni's expertise. Now, our swoopers do, but, you know, that's okay. Another Resourceful Return. I could take Ornithopter here. I don't know if I want two Resourceful Returns. They're great. It's a great card, don't get me wrong. I've sung its praise on draft videos before. But having more than one's dangerous because you could get one of them in your opening hand and it's just a dead card. And obviously Ornithopter's not great, but if I can pick up some Tezzeret's Touches and the like, I'll be in business, you know. It's worth playing Ornithopter once you have Tezzeret's Touch. Even, yeah, that's about all you need. If you're a black-red deck, you could also get that gold card, Weldfast Engineer, because you can pump it every turn. And that's pretty nice too, but we're not in black-red, and I don't think we'll end up there either. Okay, here I think we do take the Salvager. Highspire Infusion still being here does mean green's sort of there, but Salvager's pretty good, especially if you get Implements. He gets a lot better. We have one already. It is probably better in the black-red deck, which has more synergies with sacrificing, and you have access to more... Well, no, you don't have access to more Revolt, because, yeah. But we will take this guy. I've had him be surprisingly useful, partly because Self-Assembler can grab him. I might not play him if I don't get a Self-Assembler in the Kaladesh pack, but Foundry Assembler is a card I've been happy with. We do not want that, though. This card's really bad. You'll occasionally run into a deck that can somehow finds a way to use the energy regularly, and then they never use the loses 3 life part because that's the part that's bad. But it does give you energy every turn, but it's still like one. It doesn't always either, but it's still only 1 energy. It's nothing super exciting. Untethered Express, though, is pretty exciting. I also wouldn't mind an Implement of Malice, but Untethered Express is a great card. Our servo tokens can crew it. It's massive, and it's an artifact. All things that we seem to be looking for here. I wouldn't mind Implement of Malice coming back. We, of course, have a Mythic, but it's not one that's playable, sadly. I've opened this one twice recently. Lucky for me. Why couldn't it be a different Mythic? Caught in the Brights is really good, but Untethered Express is probably just the best common or uncommon in the format, so it's definitely up there. So it would be first pickable in this pack, too, with Caught in the Brights probably as the second best. Chandra's Revolution pretty good, too, but I think Caught in the Brights is better. Okay, we could go get some more Aether going. But I'd probably take Windkin Raiders. Gives us another Improvise thing. And that's really good because we're already at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 artifacts, more or less. I wouldn't mind getting a Poisoner later, but we're going to take Windkin Raiders. Wouldn't mind leaving the Dust either. Unfortunately, Windkin Raiders does die to our Expertise, which is a little less than ideal, but, you know. Baral is a 2-drop. That's about it in our deck. We could take another Resourceful Return, but I've already discussed why I don't really want to do that. It may just be Baral. It gives us a 2-drop. We have a few cards that he makes cheaper, so I think I'd probably take him. He's not going to do much in our deck other than be a 2-drop, but that's better than, I think, taking a second Resourceful Return. So Baral it is. Okay, well, things are really disappearing for us here. Felidar Guardian is really good, especially with a card like Airdrop Aeronauts. So is Dawn Feather Eagle. So white is looking pretty nice, but our 2 colors are kind of disappearing on us. I could take another Implement, which may just be what we want. We're up to 3 cards with Improvised. Ice Over is fine. And even Welder Automaton, you get to a point where he's fine, even if you can't use his activated ability, but I don't think we're quite there yet. So it's either Ice Over or the Implement, I think. And we are sort of low on removal, so I think I am going to go with Ice Over. It's a pretty underwhelming removal spell, but we could use one. Okay, I think I take another Bastion Inventor. Another Implement here too, but we'll take another creature with Improvise. Ooh, and another one. We're pretty much set now, and now we're at the point where basically every artifact is very good in our deck because we just want to play Windkin Raiders and Bastion Inventor very early. And that's really good for us. I wouldn't mind like a Cogwork Assembler or a Watchful Automaton because of that reason. Okay. Well, we're going to take Augmenting Automaton here. He's a great little artifact. He works with all of our Improvise really well. We could take a Negate for the sideboard and or Filigree Crawler, but neither of those things are particularly good, and our Automaton's definitely better than that. Okay, so we have a chance at another Automaton, but there's also a Cogwork Assembler, which has been really good for me for the most part in the past because you can just get so much value out of it, and it's a little 3-drop. But do I want Augmenting Automaton more? Also, don't hate leaving the Dust since we're so low on ways to interact with our opponent's stuff. But I think we want one of these 2 artifacts. And I'm leaning towards the Automaton. Yeah. Let's go with that. Notable that this guy's also an assembly worker, so if we get a self-assembler in the next pack, but that's okay. Okay, I think I'd probably take Implement of Malice here over the Solvent. Yeah. I think, well, Solvent does give us more removal, even though it's clunky as heck. We have lots of reasons to play artifacts. Yeah, I think I like the Implements more, though, between drawing me cards and everything. I'll take a Leave in the Dust over all these other cards. Audacious Infiltrator, perfectly playable, but the rest of those, not so much. Not very exciting. Okay, so ideally, I'm probably not going to play the Assembler unless I get the other Assembler, Self-Assembler. Probably not playing Defiant Salvager. I would like to not have to play Ice Over, but I may have to. Okay, we'll take another Resourceful Return now over like Verdant Automaton, whose ability we can't use. But I probably am not playing more than one. Do we want Mobile Garrison in this deck? I don't know that we do. We're not really like a deck that's going to be like playing things early and attacking, and we have tons of artifacts already with our Aether creatures and stuff, so I think that's probably good. That is probably good. No Fen Haulers, which makes me a little sad. That guy has definitely overperformed for me. He's the 5/5 who can't be blocked by artifacts, costs 6 and a black, and has Improvise. All right. It'd be nice to get some sweet artifact. Ooh, there we go. That works for me. All the artifacts are worth it. It'd be nice to get another nice artifact payoff in the next pack. Ideally, Gear Seeker Serpent. That's kind of like the dream. So we'll see if we can make that happen. Yeah, I guess I wouldn't. He's probably the next thing to cut. Fourth Bridge Prowler. Probably it. Do we get our wish? We'll see once Magic Online loads. Made the sound that the pack is coming, but we're not seeing it yet. Hopefully Magic Online's not about to crash. It has been known to happen. Not that often in drafts, though. There we go. Oh, we did get it. We did get what we wanted. Marionette Master. That's very good. It's a huge bomb. Weaponcraft Enthusiast would be great for us, too. It's not coming back, though. I can almost guarantee it. This pack is really good. Like, all four of these cards are cards back when it was Triple Kaladesh that I would be happy first picking between Harness. It probably goes Marionette Master. It actually probably goes in this order. Master, Lightning, Servant of the Conduit, Weaponcraft Enthusiast in terms of their power. The rest of the pack is less interesting, but the uncommons and rare are pretty nuts, and we're going to take the Marionette Master. Gives us more servos to help us improvise while also adding the very, very, very real effect that Marionette Master has. Okay, so even though the art is not what it's supposed to be, which is very weird, there we go. But I think we take Oval Chase here. It's just an incredible card. We have enough artifacts. You can even use Aether Swoopers servo tokens coming into play to get it back. I would love Doomed Operative or Die Young as well, but we're going to take the Daredevil. I think it's better than either of those. And the Doomed Operative is really good, but not as good as Daredevil. Baral, if we picked up enough other 2-drops, could be on the outside looking in. Right now, he makes Resourceful Return, Leave in the Dust, and Yeheni's Expertise a little cheaper. And that's about it. That's all he does. Yeah, this art thing is trippy. It does change shortly thereafter. Okay, the question is, do we want a Doomed Operative or a Die Young? Inventor's Goggles is also something we'd love, incidentally. I don't think I want to take it here, but all the Swoopers are Artificers, Bastion Inventors, Windkin Raiders, they're all Artificers, Marionette Master's an Artificer. There are a lot of more Artificers in this format than there used to be in Triple Kaladesh, so it's even better. Plus, there's Improvised, so... But we're looking at Doomed Operative versus Die Young. Doomed Operative is a great 2-drop. It's going to have Death Touch a majority of the time in our deck. Die Young is a great removal spell. I mean, great may be an exaggeration, but it's an okay removal spell. I think I'm leaning towards Doomed Operative, though. We don't have enough, like a lot of ways to make energy to make that as good as it can be. So I'm going to take the Operative here. Animation Module. I don't have any real ways to abuse that other than Marionette Master, and it's not enough. That's not enough ways. So Tidy Conclusion's probably what we take here. Yeah, it's definitely what we take here. It's a great removal spell. Has a little bit of artifact synergy. Those are both things we're happy about. Yeah, so Tidy Conclusion it is. Fretwork Colony, Ambitious Aetherborn, Subtle Strike. None of the blue cards here aren't really worth it. So I think what we probably want to go with is probably the Aetherborn. I mean, neither of these cards are very exciting. Fretwork Colony, if we were a really aggressive deck would be good, and maybe we can be a little bit aggressive, but I don't think we want it. I think I'd rather have the Aetherborn, and I'm probably not playing either of them, but the Aetherborn is more likely maybe, although Subtle Strike might be the most likely for me to play. Yeah, I'll take Subtle Strike. Oh, hey, look, the art's right now. How about that? Several packs in a row is very weird. We do have Inventor's Fair here, which is a solid card. It's also a land. I do like Glimmer of Genius a lot, though. Gives us a way to reload. Gives us some more energy for our swoopers. But Inventor's Fair is nice. You know, it doesn't really take up a slot in your deck. It'll gain us life a lot of the time. And it also can, in a pinch, be used as a tutor for whatever. I mean, we don't have anything great to tutor for. I guess Solvent in some situations is good, but we'll take Glimmer. Another Oval Chase Daredevil? Yes, please. We're really low on 3s. We do luckily have several 2s, but it wouldn't hurt to have a few more 3s. Well, I'm just going to take the best card out of this pack, which I think is the Seed Sculptor. We can't play anything in there. So Thriving Rats and a Fortuitous Find. There's also Torch Gauntlet. There is Torch Gauntlet. I kind of feel like we're set, though, on artifacts. And I don't love Torch Gauntlet, even in a deck with 3 Aether Swoopers. It's just so clunky. But I'm not likely to play any of these cards. So I guess I'll take the Gauntlet. At least it's an artifact. Okay, we did end up picking up a Dai Young anyway, which I'm happy with. And a Goggles, which I'm also happy with. We're going to have some trimming to do because our deck's pretty deep. So we have to cut 5 cards right now, which is not... Well, Foundry Assembler's out. We didn't pick up Self-Assembler. There's one easy cut. We could probably lose Baral without being too sad about it. We don't have enough ways to use his abilities. We picked up a Dude Operative in that pack, which is just going to be a better 2-drop for us than any of that other stuff. We can maybe lose Ice Over. It's definitely our worst removal spell. Yeah, I think I'm going to lose it. But after that, it is not easy deciding what to cut. I mean, maybe Leave in the Dust, but we have so few ways. Like, our deck's biggest weakness is an inability to interact with our opponent's board. And we have, we have the very strong Tidy Conclusion. We have Leave in the Dust, and we have Die Young. And that's basically it. And that is not really enough. So, I don't think that we want to cut Leave in the Dust, even though it's maybe the weakest card in our deck. 2 more cards. Could we get away with 16 lands? Maybe. These cards, other than Marionette Master, aren't really ever going to cost 6. So we might be able to get away with 16 lands. So we may only need to cut one more thing. We can probably get away with 16. Our curve's relatively low. We do have a ton of 4s, which is worth keeping in mind. Yeah, we probably can't because of how many 4s we have. We probably have to play 17. We didn't get a Renegade map or anything, so... Okay. I mean, I can probably get away with cutting an artifact. It wouldn't hurt me too much. I have enough of them between the 3 swoopers as well. But, we have several very strong artifact payoffs, so maybe we don't want to do that. Yeah, I think I'm losing Leave in the Dust, sadly. I don't really want to take out anything else. I mean, I could think about losing one of our implements. Certainly. I think Resourceful Return's good enough with, Marionette Master and all of these cards that I don't think we want to cut it. So we could lose an implement, and I'm thinking it might be the blue one. It's less likely to affect our improvise early, so... Yeah, I think that's what we do. So that gives us 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 if you want artifacts. And it won't be hard to play this on turn 5 or this on turn 5. And turn 4 is even possible. So, all right. I think that this is our deck. I like it a lot. It's kind of funny we didn't get either of the Signpost uncommons in either set, the blue-black cards, gold cards. But we ended up with enough artifact synergies that I think we're okay with that. Universal Solvent with Marionette Master in play is kind of silly. I guess the implements are better with Marionette Master in play, but I think we just leave it that way. And I think 9-8 is probably right. Let me check, actually. Yeah, it's probably about right. Anyway, well, these are black, basically, so is the implement. And this is blue, but, yeah. So maybe it goes the other way. The thing is, we do have more, like, early plays, cards that we want to be able to play early, so we probably just want... We have 3 double blacks and 2 double blues. I think it goes the other way in the end. Yeah. All right. Before we head into the first match, I do want to remind you guys that my content is sponsored in part by 5colorcombo.com. You can head over there to find their great store as well as other Magic content. You can use my discount code NeedsToHone5 there to get a 5% discount. Also, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button. If you want to talk about some of the picks I made, don't forget to comment below. And if you want to make sure you catch all my draft videos and a lot of other content, don't forget to subscribe. And finally, I also post draft videos over on another YouTube channel called the Aether Hub, where a number of us YouTube content creators work together creating content and things like that. And you can go over there and find a weekly draft video from me there too. So if you want to catch 2 draft videos from me a week, you should head over to the Aether Hub. Thanks for watching.